$10 drive-through car wash every weekend only at Airpark Canterbury, Parking Island off Russley Road.
The government has announced measures to ensure councils are getting back to basics. Wouldn't that be nice? By delivering core services and infrastructure and improving the efficiency of decision making. It sounds good, but what does it actually mean? Well, Christchurch City Councillor Sam MacDonald breaks it down for us now. Hello to you, Sam.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good to see you. Simeon Brown said ratepayers expect local governments to focus on delivering the basics, picking up rubbish, fixing water infrastructure and filling potholes. Isn't that what our council is doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, Mayor Phil Major has certainly led the charge on that, but, the reality is you need 9 votes around a table to get a decision through, and so you will have seen over time that he's taken a position on some things which get voted down. So we really are trying to get it back to basics, but, sometimes those sort of fantasy projects that Christopher Luxon talked about yesterday do occur.
The government is removing references to 4 well-beings in the Local Government Act. What were those roughly, and what do they actually mean? It sounds waffly.
Yeah, so they've sort of been in and out of the legislation for a few years. When one government comes in, they get added, and then often when a national government comes in, they get removed. Things like environmental, cultural, social, and economic well-beings are sort of how they look at it. And I guess what it means is it broadens the scope of what councils are expected to do, which inevitably pushes up the price of things. So if you're nailing it back down and you're getting it really focused on those basics, there should be a return to the ratepayer that means that we don't need to spend as much money, which, in my view, is a really good thing.
I know that Christopher Luxon used the word extravagant when he was talking about spending. Do you believe, in your heart of hearts, this council that you belong to can be accused of extravagant spending? Or are we doing okay, Sam? What's your gut feeling on that? Also, given by what ratepayers say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the feedback we get a lot is we could do a lot more better and drive a lot more value. But again, that decision needs to come from the council table. So all of my colleagues need to agree that we need to spend less or actually drive more value. Phil Major has been on record saying he's not against cycleways, but actually with the way we do them is severely overpriced, very expensive, and we're doing them to communities. So I'm hoping this change means actually that we can focus a lot more, just do that basic stuff really, really well, fix the potholes, repair the roads, make sure we've got clean water, and pick up your rubbish. If we can do that stuff right, then I think we'll get a lot more buy-in from the community, and that directive from government means we really need to focus on it. So, in my view, it can only be a good thing.
Well, having said that, we've had directives from government in the past. Simeon Brown, I think I spoke with him several months ago now, and he said the days of speed bumps or humps or whatever you call them, they're over. He doesn't want any more. But yet the Christchurch City Council staff still was ramming them through. Every intersection there's a bloody speed bump. So, I mean, in your view, what teeth does the government have to make these sorts of directions? I mean, are we actually looking at changing the Local Government Act, aren't we? So these things will be set in concrete.
Yeah, so Simeon at the moment, and I mean, I should say I really like what he's doing. I think he's trying to get it back to basics. He's changing the way the NZTA fund things. So, you take that sort of Gloucester Street sort of terrible situation where we tried to spend a lot of money there, which was government funded. Situations like that don't need to occur. We don't need to make streets that people can live on, so to speak, as they talk about. We need streets that facilitate the movement of people. That's cars, bikes, and people walking. And so if we can focus in a lot more on that stuff, we'll be far better than what's happening now. So, I'm hoping the government do signal some changes that mean that we've got some more tools in the toolkit, because at the moment, there are real challenges with that.
The government is also reviewing, this is what Aaron Curran will probably be delighted about, it's reviewing its code of conduct at councils to, quote, balance freedom of expression with orderly business conduct and allow councils to effectively represent electors. That is what the councillors should be doing now, but they can't. Explain that to me, Sam.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, Aaron is a really good example. He's someone that speaks up quite often on a range of issues. And I think what Simeon has said, and certainly the Prime Minister in their announcement, is that, if you're elected by local people, you should be able to offer your view, provided you're not misleading people or creating sort of situations which drive infrensia or, things going crazy, that actually, you can do that stuff. I think what's happened over time is that the system called a code of conduct has often been weaponized against people for speaking freely. And I think that will change. So, I can have a view that might be different to a colleague of mine, and actually that's okay. We don't need to go and file sort of issues against each other and because we don't like each other or, there are challenges. I think it's getting back to having robust conversations, as long as they're, based on real information, that actually you can do that. So, look, I'm really hoping that it helps with free speech a lot more and allows people like Aaron to actually express more of their view without it being weaponized against them. You often see these things in election years where people that may have a differing view try and use them to silence people, and I just don't think that's acceptable. So, look, that will be a really good change.
Yeah, it will be, because we need to stick to evidence-based, don't we?
We do. And I mean, in a local democracy or any democracy, people can share their view. And I think the reality is that you can disagree with people. It is okay to have a different opinion, but it doesn't mean you need to be very precious about it, consume a lot of council staff time, which ultimately detracts from what they should be doing, which is fixing the roads, picking up your rubbish, making sure you've got good water.
We'll leave it there. Councillor Sam MacDonald, good to speak with you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your evidence-based conversation. All the best.